The Iraqi tyrant had made a vow to destroy Kuwait's identity as an independent country and to subject its people to his tyranny. Little did he know that the citizens of Kuwait would also make a vow before God to resist his evil plans. They would confront his soldiers and install fear into their hearts, regardless of the consequences. Very soon, the world media began carrying reports on the heroic Kuwaiti resistance. The names of the martyrs who had fallen defending their land and principles began to surface. This program features eyewitness accounts of the story of this hero. But exactly who was Ahmed Qabazard?
Ahmed, God bless him, was always the serious type. He had been like that ever since first grade, but he was friendly and always helpful.
He was one of those rare men under whom it was great to work. I mean, he instilled confidence in you. If you knew that your supervisor was First Lieutenant Ahmed Qabazard, you psychologically felt better. You carried out the mission secure in the knowledge that you had a...
I've never known a braver man. I felt totally confident in him, and he was a great example to me. Ahmed Qabazard.
So where exactly was Ahmed, and what were his reactions?
It was 3:30 a.m. on that fateful Friday when Ahmed, may he rest in peace, called from Beirut asking for news. I told him what had happened and also informed him that I had telephoned Hamid, my son, who was at that time accompanying Ahmed's wife and children in Egypt, to tell them to go to Bahrain. I advised Ahmed...
We were told that a taxi would take us to the desert border between Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, and that we would enter by that route.
GMC four-wheel drive from Bahrain dropped us off the border. It was early in the morning and we were about 6 hours walk from Wafra and at least 5 hours from the farms, which were our objective.
As soon as he arrived in Kuwait, we made contact. I went over to his house to analyze the situation. It was then that we discussed how to set up a resistance cell.
He contacted a group of individuals who were operating in the Jabriya area. He had an intermediary get in touch with me to ask if he, Ahmed, could join us. I replied that I would be honored to work with him and that I hoped I could meet up with him as soon as possible. I knew Ahmed well and knew just what he could achieve.
We discovered that Ahmed Qabazard had established a core group amongst his colleagues in the protection service and the police. Many in our circle of friends were working under his leadership, so we joined too. After he came back to Kuwait, Ali, his brother, came by to see our group, which was already well established. He proposed that we come under Ahmed's leadership. I had already heard about Ahmed, and I knew he was somebody you could rely on. He was also a military man, and we needed such a person to lead us. So we didn't hesitate to accept the proposal.
We telephoned him and he told us where he was. And we used to go and get our instructions from him. If there were anything we were short of, for example weapons or ammunition, he would somehow provide...
Courage was the main element in providing what was needed. If the situation required a raid on a munitions dump,
the mission was to infiltrate an ammo dump, which was surrounded by barbed wire and heavily guarded around the clock. The object of the raid was to get our hands on weapons and equipment. Of course, the guards were confident no one could get anywhere near them, So you would find the guards would sneak off to sleep at certain times of the night, deserting their posts, or they would congregate at one spot drinking tea and talking. It was during one of these times that Ahmed, God rest his soul, got through, removed the weapons, and threw them over the fence to us.
I only got to know him after he'd attended 1 or 2 meetings at my house. I recall he was only one of many who met up within the diwaniyah, or meeting place. You know how it was at that time. Everyone was concerned with a specific task, and the groups were broken down into cells. That is as far as my acquaintance with him goes. It seems he was under surveillance at the time, and his visits to my house.
23 days after Ahmed had slipped into Kuwait, the unexpected...
Reading off the charges. First Lieutenant Ahmad Qabazard of the Special Protection Service has met Samir al-Nasser and someone called Suleiman to conspire against the Iraqi authorities. Ahmed asked him what evidence he had to support this accusation. He answered, "This report is the evidence." Ahmed told him that that meant nothing. The order was then given to take him off.
If then Ahmed was so cautious, why was he captured?
And the most extreme caution cannot stop the march of fate. Due to the high concentration of Iraqi soldiers in Kuwait and their active intelligence system, it was perhaps inevitable that sooner or later traitors from groups sympathetic to the Iraqis would provide easy information. In addition, the Iraqis had access to government offices where they could obtain addresses, photographs and files. Furthermore, they could detain and harass certain individuals, sometimes torturing them and threatening them with their lives and those of their families. It is possible that there were some amongst these who would break under the strain and leak information.
He knew that someone had betrayed him.
Ahmed was eagerly sought out and seized by the ruthless Iraqis. Since he had such a wealth of information, he was subjected over the course of the following to horrendous physical and mental torture. But did he succumb? What of his comrades? Weren't they afraid he would reveal their whereabouts?
I never feared for myself, my family or comrades. As I said, this man instilled absolute confidence in the men who served under him. We knew we had a tower of strength to rely on, so we knew we could always count on him, no matter what. He wouldn't reveal names or places or where weapons could be found. Personally, I didn't remove one weapon from my home. We didn't even change the location of our meetings. Nothing needed to be changed, because I knew that Ahmad Qabazard, God rest his soul, would never talk.